Hello, this is Keenan, and this is Wylock 4th grade lesson 5. For our first section, we have time conversion, where we're converting between units of time. For our first question, we have 1 week, which we are converting into hours. So 1 week is also 7 days. So 1 times 7 is 7, so we have 7 days. And then each day has 24 hours. So 7 times 24, that is equal to 168. So we have 168 hours in a week. 1 century is 100 years, and so we can just directly convert to that. 36 months, 2 years. There are 12 months in a year, so we'll divide by 12, which will give us 3. So we have 3 years. And then we're converting days to minutes. So we have 5 days, which we multiply by 24 to get hours, and then each hour has 60 minutes, so we multiply by 60 again. And 5 times 24 times 60 is equal to 7,200. So our answer is 7,200. Here we convert from 1 day to seconds. So that's 1 day, and then there are 24 hours in a day, and then 60 minutes in an hour, and then 60 seconds in a minute. So that's 1 times 24 times 60 times 60, which is equal to 86,400. And so our answer is 86,400. And then how many months are in a decade? Well, a decade has 10 years, and then each year has 12 months. So you get 1 times 10 times 12, which is 120. And then we have how many days are in 20 weeks? There are 7 days in a week, so we get 20 times 7 is equal to 140. And then how many days are in a century? So there are 365 days in a year times 100 years in a century. So we get 36500, 36,500. If you want to be super specific, since there are also leap years, you can say that every fourth year has an extra day, which will get you 36,525. Or if you search it up online, it's actually slightly different. It's 36,524.25. But that's only if you're like an ultra nerd and you want to know this. Okay, and now we're going to use the table to answer these questions. So, which movie is longer, Barbie or Morbius? So Barbie goes from 1250 to 3. And between 1250 and 3, that is 2 hours, 10 minutes for Barbie. Or actually, I'll write it on the side here. And then Morbius, in comparison, we'll see 1240 to 3. 1240 to 3, that is 2 hours, 20 minutes. And we can check that's true because if we add 2 hours, 20 minutes to 1240, add the 20 minutes to get 60 minutes, which is another hour. So what's past 12 in time after 12 is 1. And then we add 2 hours to that, so that's 3. And so we can see that Morbius is longer. I'll just circle Morbius. Which movies would you be able to watch? And then there are these choices. Let's check Barbie and Oppenheimer. We have Barbie, which starts at 12:50 and ends at 3. And then Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer starts too early, so we can't watch Barbie and then Oppenheimer because we would have a conflict. For Oppenheimer and then Barbie, once again, Oppenheimer ends at 2:30 while Barbie starts at 2:25, so there's a conflict there. So this is wrong. Barbie and McFarlane USA. It ends at 3. McFarlane starts at 2:50. Once again, that's a conflict because they overlap. And then the other way around, 2:40 to 2:25. There's another overlap since the ending is past the starting. So once again, McFarland is out of the question. Barbie and McFarland. And then we have Despicable Me and Morbius. Despicable Me ends at 3:10, which is way past 2:40. And it starts at 2:30, which is too early for Morbius because it ends at 3. So either way, we cannot watch them. And then Oppenheimer and McFarland. Oppenheimer ends at 2:30, and then McFarland starts at 2:50. So these actually both do work. So, and then the other way does not work because it ends at 2:40 and starts at 2:25. But we can watch Oppenheimer and then McFarland because we will watch until 2:30, and then we'll start at 2:50. So we have 20 minutes in between, and there's no overlap. So D is correct. And then which movies are the same length? Here we have 2:10 and 2:20. We already found those out. If we look at this, you can see that it's 2:30. If you want a little shortcut, you can just see it has the same start time as Morbius, but it ends 10 minutes later, so we can know that it's 10 minutes longer. Just a little shortcut. Oppenheimer is 3 hours, because we can see that it ends at the same minute it starts, and then so we know that there's no minutes, and then we can see that it's 3 hours, because it goes from 11 to 12, 1, 2, which is 3 hours. McFarlane USA, we can see lasts 2 hours 20 minutes because it progresses 20 minutes from 20 to 40, and 12 to 2 is 2 hours. And then Inside Out is, let's see, we have 5 minutes, it moves 5 minutes forward, and then 2 hours and 5 minutes because in between these times there's 2 hours and 5 minutes. So we can see that Morbius and McFarlane USA are both 2 hours 20 minutes long. So it's Morbius and McFarland USA. And then now we're on to word problems. So a plane was scheduled for 5:30 p.m. Unfortunately, it was delayed 2 hours and 45 minutes. What is the new time the plane is scheduled for? So because it's delayed, that means it's going to happen later. So we're going to add this time. So 5:30 plus 2 hours gives us 7:30 p.m. and then another 45 minutes. So after 30 minutes, 8, and then another 15, so 8:15. So 8:15, oops, I forgot my colon, p.m. is our final answer. Second problem, Anna left to go to school at 7:55 a.m. Bob went to buy groceries at the same time. If Anna comes back after 6 hours and 30 minutes, and Bob's trip takes 45 less minutes than Anna's, what time does Bob come back? So Anna leaves at 7:55 and it comes back after 6 hours and 30 minutes. So 7:55 plus 6 hours 30 minutes. And then plus 6 hours, it'll give us, well, 7 plus 6 is 13. And then we know there's no 13. After 12 is 1. So it'll actually be 1. And then not 55, we add 30 minutes. Since it can't be over 60, we'll add another 1 to the 1. So we'll get 2:25 p.m. because this was AM before. And then Bob's trip takes 45 less minutes, so we have to subtract 45 minutes. So the first 25 minutes is 2 p.m., and then we subtract another 20, so it becomes 1:40 p.m. So Bob comes back at 1:40 p.m. And then Tristeza breaks his leg. The doctor tells him that he will have to wear a cast for 4 months and 3 weeks. How many days does Tristeza have to wear a cast, assuming a month is 30 days? So we have 4 months, which is 30 days each. And then plus we have 3 weeks, which are 7 days each. 4 times 30 is 120, and then 3 times 7 is 21. We add those together and we get 141. And then for our last question, Rhaenyra wants to calculate how many days of school are left. There are 5 school days a week. School goes on for another 23 weeks, with 2 1-week breaks, 1 2-week break, and 8 one-day holidays. how many days of school are left. So we have 23 weeks, and then 23 weeks. We have 2 1 weeks and a 1 2 week. So instead of converting these into days at the beginning, I'll wait for a moment so we can do it a little simpler. So the total, these are break weeks, right? So 2 1 weeks translates to 2 weeks of break, and a 1 2 week is another 2 weeks. So in total, we have 4 weeks of break. We're going to hold this in a box. We'll come to that later. So if you have 4 weeks of break, and then there are another 23 weeks of school, 23 minus 4 from the break will give us 19 weeks. So we have 19 weeks. And then we'll convert this into school days. And since there are 5 school days a week, 19 times 5 will give us 95. So we have 95 days of school, but we also have 8 one-day holidays. So 95 minus 8 will be equal to 87. So we should have 87 days of school. And yeah, that's all for this week's lesson. Thank you for watching.